Hello, you're welcome to this edition of Preparing for the Holy Mass. And today we're talking about the homily. And this is the preparation that we as the faithful gather ourselves towards the homily. Not necessarily the priest or the deacon who is giving the homily, but this is our preparation as the faithful towards the homily. And first, it will be very nice that we talk about what is the homily. The word homily is derived from the Greek word homilia, which means communion with a person. And it is in this sense that the Catholic Encyclopedia now talks about the homily as a community hearing the word of God from the homilist, and the faithful are not just passive around it. So in that realm, we have the three parts of preparing for the homily, which we can capture before the homily, during the homily, and after the homily. Before the homily, it is pertinent to know that the Church in her wisdom had met each day, each Mass to have specific readings. So, preparing before the actual homily is the faithful familiarizing himself or herself with the readings of the day. And you would ask yourself, what could be the intention of the Church for selecting such readings? When we have this mindset over us, maybe a day before, 2 days before, even right before the Mass, and you are like, why did the Church choose such readings? It hovers our minds to tailor into what the homilist would give. During the homily, the Church would ask us for an active listening, not just the passive listening. And each and every one of us knows that the homily and that time for homily can be even the easiest time when one is distracted. As Father Jean would tell us that the distractions at Mass are easy to come into. But during the homily, if we are focused before that homily, then during the homily, the active listener will be the choice of words of the priest or deacon, the gestures, the theme, and you could ask yourself, what would I have taken as theme if I were to be the homilist? These are the things that could pile our minds such that even one word can make our day in a homily if we are actively listening. And during the homily, let each and every one of us be quite clear that the Mass is the action of Christ himself being the victim and the priest, such that the homily we see that those words being said are the words of Christ. If we see them as words of Christ, we won't be choosing and picking those words. We would see them as God has spoken. So in that active listening, every faithful would begin to, enter the mind of the Church and indeed of the homilist to be able to even gather words that are not spoken. Then after the homily comes the reflection on how the message applies to our lives. Now, we don't want to see the homily as an entertainment. We don't want to see the homily as tell them or tell my neighbor. It is myself. And if it is in that realm, we reflect how these words blend into the sending forth of every faithful after Mass to go and live the life of Christ. And that is why we, in that enthusiasm, could consult other resources, other reflections, other people who have reflected on it, and you want to see, where should this go deeper than even what I have heard? So we now, during this period after the homily, we reflect, we consult, and indeed journalize. By journalization, we mean you could write down stuff that makes an impact to us. We could write down stuff that say, today, this is what I want to learn. And this is what I want to hold forth, even throughout the week and in our whole lives. Such that the homily is reading, active listening, and reflection. And that is why sometimes it is like, after the homily, the faithful, though thrilled, if that word should be used, should not even clap, because the homily should draw us deeper into a sense of the readings of the day. And once we're able to get at that, we see with less distractions and more so, we'll be able to find in ourselves that Christ has really spoken to us at Mass. So, our ending of every homily for us as a faithful should be, let the words of your mouth, O Lord, and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable to you, O Lord. This is the mind of the church. Thank you, and see you next time.